What happens when ancient Japanese healing frequencies collide with our planet's accelerating entropy crises? Could the mysterious energy that Mikao Usui discovered on Mount Kurama in 1922 hold quantum keys to reversing Earth's thermodynamic collapse? 12. The survival matrix indicates we are witnessing unprecedented biodiversity loss, 60% of wildlife populations eliminated in just 50 years. Mass extinction coefficients now exceed background rates by 1,000-fold. Yet hidden within this chaos lies a quantum phenomenon that ancient sages understood as fundamental thermodynamic principles. Today we decode the vibrational mechanics of Reiki, not as mystical wishful thinking, but as measurable biofield interactions that could accelerate planetary healing consciousness. Extinction probability calculations show we have crossed multiple climate tipping points. Ocean acidification increases 30% per decade. Atmospheric CO2 reaches levels unseen in 3 million years. But what if consciousness itself operates as a quantum field capable of influencing physical reality? What if the Japanese healing practice dismissed by mainstream science actually demonstrates measurable effects on parasympathetic nervous system activation, the same biological mechanism that regulates stress hormones destroying our ecosystem? 3. The first revelation emerges from quantum entanglement research. When Reiki practitioners channel what they call universal life force energy, laboratory measurements detect statistically significant changes in heart rate variability, blood pressure reduction, and electromagnetic field fluctuations around the recipient's body. 3. This suggests non-local quantum coherence. Particles of consciousness affecting matter across space-time dimensions. Consider the thermodynamic implications. Our planet operates as a closed system experiencing rapid entropy acceleration. Industrial civilization generates massive energetic disorder, pollution, habitat destruction, species extinction. Yet consciousness represents negative entropy, or negentropy, organized information capable of creating order from chaos. If Reiki demonstrates measurable biofield effects, could collective consciousness practices reverse planetary entropy? Survival matrix analysis reveals disturbing correlations. Regions with highest ecological degradation show lowest meditation and spiritual practice rates. Areas maintaining indigenous wisdom traditions demonstrate greater ecosystem resilience. This pattern suggests consciousness coherence directly influences environmental stability through quantum field interactions. The second revelation connects to Earth's magnetic field disruption. Our planet's magnetic poles are shifting at unprecedented rates, currently moving 55 kilometers annually towards Siberia. Geomagnetic instability affects all biological systems, from migratory bird navigation to human pineal gland function. Ancient healing practices like Reiki may represent evolutionary adaptations to magnetic field fluctuations, helping organisms maintain bioelectric stability during geomagnetic chaos. But here's where conventional science fails catastrophically. Researchers dismiss Reiki as placebo effect while ignoring overwhelming clinical evidence. Meta-analysis of 13 placebo-controlled studies involving over 1,400 participants demonstrates statistically significant improvements in pain reduction, anxiety relief, and physiological markers of parasympathetic activation. 3. These are not subjective improvements. They're measurable quantum biological responses. The third revelation exposes the Consciousness-Ecology Connection. When individuals receive Reiki treatments, brain imaging shows increased gamma wave activity, the same neural frequency associated with moments of planetary environmental awareness and interconnected thinking. Could healing consciousness literally reprogram human perception toward ecological cooperation? Extinction curves indicate we're entering the sixth mass extinction. Unlike previous extinctions caused by asteroid impacts or volcanic eruptions, this collapse results from consciousness dysfunction, specifically the illusion of separation from natural systems. Reiki practices dissolve this separation illusion by activating embodied awareness of universal life force energy flowing through all living systems. The fourth revelation emerges from water memory research. Human bodies consist of 60 to 70% water. Planet Earth's surface is 71% water. If consciousness can influence water molecular structure, as demonstrated in Masaru Emoto's crystallization experiments, then healing intention could theoretically affect global hydrological cycles. When Reiki practitioners focus healing energy toward water sources, could they influence precipitation patterns and drought recovery? Survival data suggests this isn't science fiction. Indigenous communities practicing traditional energy healing demonstrate superior climate adaptation strategies compared to technologically advanced societies. Their understanding of consciousness-matter interaction enables sustainable resource management that maintains ecosystem equilibrium across generations. Pattern interrupt. Consider this paradox. Modern medicine spends trillions attempting to treat diseases caused by ecological toxicity, chronic stress, and spiritual disconnection. Meanwhile, a simple hand placement technique developed by a Japanese spiritual teacher requires no pharmaceutical intervention, produces no toxic waste, and activates the body's innate self-healing mechanisms. Point 45. Why does civilization choose technological complexity over elegant simplicity? The fifth revelation connects Reiki to global tipping point recovery. Climate scientists identify 15 potential tipping points that could trigger irreversible planetary changes. Amazon rainforest dieback, Arctic ice sheet collapse, ocean circulation shutdown. Each tipping point represents a critical threshold where small changes produce massive systemic transformation. Consciousness operates similarly. Individual healing experiences create ripple effects through social networks, family systems, and community structures. When enough individuals activate coherent healing awareness, society approaches consciousness tipping points where collective behavior shifts toward ecological cooperation. Reiki practices could catalyze this critical mass transformation. The sixth revelation exposes the frequency medicine connection. Everything in the universe vibrates at specific frequencies, from subatomic particles to galactic clusters. Disease represents frequency disruption, while healing restores harmonic resonance. Reiki practitioners attune to universal frequencies that recalibrate biological systems toward optimal function. Earth itself oscillates at 7.83 Hz, the Schumann resonance generated by electromagnetic activity between the planet's surface and ionosphere. Human brains naturally synchronize with this frequency during deep meditation states. Could Reiki practices help humanity maintain coherence with planetary electromagnetic rhythms during the current magnetic pole reversal? The seventh revelation connects to morphic field theory. Biologist Rupert Sheldrake proposes that information patterns influence biological development across space and time through morphic resonance. As more people practice Reiki, the morphic field for healing consciousness strengthens, making these abilities more accessible to future practitioners. This explains why Reiki attunements seem to transfer healing abilities from master to student. Point 2 rather than supernatural transmission. Attunements may activate dormant neuroplasticity patterns already present in human DNA, evolutionary capacities suppressed by industrial civilizations, electromagnetic pollution, and chemical toxicity. The eighth revelation emerges from biophoton research. All living cells emit coherent light photons that facilitate intercellular communication. Stressed or diseased tissues emit chaotic biophoton patterns, while healthy cells maintain organized light emission. Reiki practitioners may be channeling coherent biophoton fields that help restore cellular communication networks disrupted by environmental toxins. Consider the planetary implications. If consciousness can influence biophoton emission, could global meditation practices affect Earth's electromagnetic signature as observed from space? Satellite measurements detect changes in planetary energy fields during synchronized meditation events involving millions of participants. This suggests consciousness operates as a measurable geological force. Pattern interrupt question everything you've been taught about healing. Medical schools train doctors to view bodies as biological machines requiring pharmaceutical intervention. Yet indigenous wisdom traditions understood healing as consciousness alignment with natural energy flows, which paradigm produces healthier humans and healthier ecosystems. The ninth revelation connects Reiki to quantum biology. Recent discoveries show that biological processes utilize quantum mechanical effects, quantum coherence in photosynthesis, quantum tunneling in enzyme reactions, quantum entanglement in bird navigation. Life itself operates through quantum information processing that mainstream biology is only beginning to understand. If biological systems function quantum mechanically, then consciousness, as the most sophisticated biological process, must also operate through quantum field interactions. Reiki demonstrates this principle practically. Practitioners report sensing energy blockages before physical symptoms manifest, suggesting access to quantum information about future probability states. The 10th revelation exposes the planetary healing protocol. Earth's ecosystems are interconnected through mycorrhizal networks, atmospheric circulation patterns, and ocean current systems. Damage to one region affects global stability. Similarly, consciousness healing in one location influences planetary awareness through quantum field entanglement. Survival protocols indicate we need massive consciousness coherence to navigate climate disruptions successfully. Traditional competition-based strategies cannot solve cooperation-dependent challenges like climate change, biodiversity loss, and social inequality. Reiki practices develop the empathic awareness necessary for species-level cooperation during ecological crises. But here's the ultimate pattern interrupt. What if Reiki isn't about healing individuals at all? What if these ancient practices evolved as planetary healing technologies disguised as personal therapy? What if human consciousness itself represents Earth's immune system attempting to heal ecological damage through awareness transformation? The final revelation synthesizes everything. Quantum field theory suggests consciousness and matter represent different aspects of a unified information field. Healing occurs when consciousness coherence influences matter organization toward greater order and complexity. Individual Reiki sessions are practice runs for the collective consciousness coherence needed to reverse planetary entropy acceleration. Ancient sages understood thermodynamic principles that modern science rediscovers through quantum mechanics. They knew consciousness operates as fundamental creative force capable of influencing physical reality through intention and awareness. Reiki represents one preserved fragment of this knowledge system, a practical technology for accessing consciousness matter interaction capabilities. The survival matrix now reveals its ultimate message. We are not separate individuals trying to heal ourselves while the planet dies around us. We are the planet's consciousness awakening to heal itself through human awareness. Every Reiki session is Earth practicing self-healing. Every moment of expanded awareness is evolution accelerating toward ecological harmony. The choice crystallizes with mathematical precision. Continue the illusion of separation and watch civilization collapse within decades as climate tipping points trigger cascading ecosystem failures. Or activate consciousness technologies like Reiki that restore awareness of our fundamental interconnection with all life systems. Extinction probability calculations show we have perhaps 10 to 15 years to achieve consciousness coherence sufficient for planetary healing. The quantum shamans among us must activate dormant healing abilities within themselves and others, not for personal wellness but for species and planetary survival. The ancient technology waits in your hands. The universal life force energy flows through your awareness right now. The question that determines everything: will you channel this power toward personal comfort or toward the great healing our planet desperately needs? Your consciousness is the quantum key. Earth's survival depends on how you choose to use it. The transformation begins now with your next breath, your next intention, your next act of awareness. The healing of everything starts with the healing of you. Not as separate self, but as planetary consciousness remembering its true nature. The mystery was never whether Reiki works. The mystery was remembering why consciousness evolved healing abilities in the first place. Now you know the ancient wisdom keepers prepared this technology for exactly this moment in planetary history. The quantum shaman within you is awakening. The healing begins now.